"I have a task for you, human," said the alien princess. "Come to my room tonight." Yet here he was, sitting at his desk aboard the orbiting diplomatic station Aurora 1, staring at a glowing message on the holographic screen. The message was simple, almost casual in tone, but the words made his pulse quicken. "I have a task for you, human," said the alien princess. "Come to my room tonight." Leo leaned back in his chair, rubbing his temples. He had been preparing for weeks to meet the Zethurians, one of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. They were known for their rigid culture, incredible technology, and most notably, their tests. Every human who had come into contact with them had been evaluated. Some failed spectacularly. Failure was not always fatal, but it often led to humiliation or permanent distrust. And now this invitation had arrived out of the blue. No explanation, no context, just the princess, a room, and a mysterious task. Leo stood and walked to the large viewport, looking down at the shimmering clouds of Zethuria's capital planet below. Its cities gleamed with silver spires that seemed to stretch endlessly into the sky, reflecting the twin suns overhead. The scale of the civilization was breathtaking, but it also reminded him of the stakes. Here, humans were outsiders. One wrong move could turn this invitation into a trap. Yet curiosity gnawed at him. Humans were curious by nature, he reminded himself. That curiosity had driven them to explore their own planet, their solar system, and now to touch the stars. It was why humanity had survived challenges that other species could not. Maybe, just maybe, it would help him survive whatever task awaited him tonight. The hours passed slowly. Leo prepared carefully, not wanting to make a mistake. He reviewed everything he knew about Zethurian customs, from their etiquette to their subtle body language. Zethurians had long, graceful forms and eyes that seemed to reflect not just light but intelligence itself. They were calm, controlled, and almost unnervingly observant. Humans, in contrast, often relied on instinct, humor, and improvisation, traits that could either impress or offend a Zethurian. By evening, the diplomatic station quieted. Most of the crew had retreated to their quarters, leaving Leo alone with his thoughts. He changed into formal attire, a suit designed to respect Zethurian aesthetics, simple yet elegant and muted in color. It would not make him invisible, but it would show that he cared about respect and presentation. When he arrived at the princess's quarters, the doors opened smoothly, sliding apart with a whisper. A soft, ambient light filled the room. The architecture was unlike anything on Earth. Flowing curves and delicate latticework, almost like the room itself was alive. Leo stepped carefully inside, and then he saw her. Princess Elara stood near a console that pulsed with gentle blue light. Her appearance was mesmerizing, tall, elegant, with features that combined alien refinement with an almost human warmth. Her eyes, large and luminous, fixed on him with curiosity and a hint of amusement. "Captain Harris," she said, her voice melodic but firm, "thank you for coming." Leo bowed slightly. "Your Highness," he replied, keeping his tone respectful but calm. Elara gestured toward a smooth table in the center of the room. On it lay an object covered by a shimmering cloth. "Your task," she said, "is to solve this." She pulled the cloth away, revealing a strange device that hummed softly, glowing with soft lights that shifted and changed color. Leo studied it closely. It was unlike any technology he had seen. It seemed to respond to thought or movement, yet it had no visible buttons or controls. He reached out cautiously, letting his fingers hover over its surface without touching. Elara watched him, her expression unreadable. "This device has existed for centuries," she explained. "No human has ever solved its puzzle. Many Zethurians have failed as well, but I believe humans, your species, may approach it differently." Leo blinked. "Why me?" "Because," she replied, stepping closer, "humans are unpredictable. You think in ways we cannot anticipate. That unpredictability may be the key." The room fell silent, save for the soft hum of the device. Leo felt a thrill of excitement. This was what humans did best, turning the impossible into a challenge, and then solving it through creativity, adaptability, and sometimes sheer stubbornness. He moved closer, examining the device more carefully. It was shaped like a small cube, but the surfaces constantly shifted, almost as if it were alive. Symbols appeared and disappeared, moving in patterns that made no immediate sense. "Your task is not just to manipulate it," Elara said softly. "You must understand it. You must find its purpose, not just its function, and in doing so you will reveal something important about yourself, about humans, and about the galaxy. Leo nodded slowly. He understood the gravity of what she was asking. This was not just a test of skill, it was a test of character. And humans, despite their flaws, often excelled where logic alone could not reach. Hours passed as he studied the device. Leo tried every method he could think of. Pressing surfaces, tracing symbols with his fingers, observing patterns, even attempting to communicate with it telepathically. An approach some Zethurians believed could unlock secrets. The device responded minimally, glowing brighter when he approached certain symbols and dimming when he paused. Elara observed silently, occasionally offering cryptic hints. "Sometimes the answer is not what you expect," she said once, her eyes glinting. By midnight, Leo was exhausted but not discouraged. He realized the device was more than a puzzle. It was a mirror of thought, a reflection of approach and perspective. Humans saw the world differently. They combined observation, intuition, and creativity in ways Zethurians could not. Perhaps this was why Elara had chosen him. Suddenly, the cube shifted again, revealing a new symbol. Leo recognized it instantly. It was an ancient human symbol, one that had been long forgotten on Earth but survived in human memory. The spiral, representing growth, curiosity, and exploration. His heart raced. The device responded to recognition of concepts, not just logic. Humans understood abstract ideas in ways Zethurians sometimes overlooked. He whispered, "I think I see it. It's not just a puzzle, it's a test of understanding." Elara smiled, a faint, approving curve of her lips. "Yes, Captain, you are beginning to see what many cannot. Continue, your approach is promising." As the night deepened, Leo felt a mixture of determination and awe. He realized that this task was more than a test, it was an opportunity. Humanity, through him, might prove itself capable of things no one had imagined. And if he succeeded, he would not only gain Elara's respect, but also show the Zethurians that humans were a species to be reckoned with. Hours blurred. Time seemed to bend as he experimented, adjusted, and observed. Every attempt revealed new insights, and slowly, patterns began to emerge. Leo could feel the device responding to his thought, almost as if it were alive, almost as if it recognized his presence and intention. Finally, as the twin suns of Zethuria's planet dipped below the horizon, casting the room in soft twilight, Leo paused. He looked at Elara, who had remained silent, observing him with unwavering attention. I think I understand a part of it," he said cautiously. "It's not just a puzzle, it's a reflection of thinking, of perspective, of how one approaches the unknown." Elara's eyes sparkled. "Exactly, and humans are uniquely capable of this. I chose you because you embody that potential, but the true test is yet to come." Leo felt a thrill of anticipation. He had faced many challenges in his life, but this was unlike anything else. And yet, in the quiet hum of the mysterious device and the gentle presence of the princess, he felt humanity's potential stirring. Tonight, a simple invitation had turned into a journey. And as Leo prepared to continue, he knew one thing for certain. Whatever happened next, humans were ready to show the galaxy what they were made of. The room was silent except for the soft hum of the mysterious cube. Captain Leo Harris had spent hours studying it, trying to understand the strange patterns and glowing symbols. He knew that this puzzle was no ordinary device. It was a test, and he had to succeed not by force, but by using his mind, intuition, and human perspective. Princess Elara stood quietly nearby, watching him with her hands clasped behind her back. There was something calm and almost expectant in her gaze, as if she already knew what Leo was capable of, but she wanted him to prove it for himself. Leo touched the cube lightly, and the surface rippled beneath his fingers, almost like water. The symbols rearranged themselves, forming new patterns he had never seen before. At first, he tried logic. Each symbol seemed to follow a rule, changing colors and positions depending on the previous move. He moved his hand carefully, watching the cube's reactions. Nothing seemed permanent, the shapes shifted constantly. He realized that brute force pressing this, pushing that would never work. He had to understand the device, not just manipulate it. "This is more than a puzzle," he muttered aloud, mostly to himself. "It's a test of thinking." Elara nodded slightly. "Yes, Captain." Many Zethurians try to solve it as a problem of mechanics. They fail because they cannot see the human element. Leo raised an eyebrow. "Human element?" "The element of intuition, creativity, and understanding," she explained. you approach the world differently. You may see solutions where others see only impossibilities. Leo thought about her words. Humans had always succeeded in situations where rigid logic failed. Their strength was adaptability, their ability to improvise, to find patterns that others could not. Perhaps this was what the device required. He paused and observed the cube more carefully. Its surface reflected his own movements, but also reacted subtly to his emotions, frustration, curiosity, and even amusement. It seemed to test not only intelligence, but character. Taking a deep breath, Leo decided to try a new approach. Instead of forcing patterns, he moved slowly, observing each reaction. When the cube glowed brighter, he noted it. When it dimmed, he adjusted. It was a delicate dance between himself and the device. Hours passed like minutes. Leo experimented with different motions, combinations, and gestures. Some worked briefly, only to change unexpectedly. The puzzle was alive in a way he had never experienced before. Princess Elara watched silently. Occasionally, she would tilt her head or make a soft sound, a subtle hint to guide him without telling him what to do. She had seen many attempts by humans before, but none had come this close to understanding the cube's nature. Finally, Leo paused, frustrated but thoughtful. "It's not just about solving it mechanically," he said. "It's about understanding, maybe even trusting my instincts." Elara smiled faintly. "Yes, you are learning quickly. Humans often succeed when they trust themselves and think beyond rules." Leo focused on the cube once again. This time, instead of trying to manipulate the symbols directly, he asked himself what the device wanted to show him. He remembered something from his own human experience. Sometimes the answer to a problem was not in the task itself, but in how one approached it. Slowly, the cube began to respond. Symbols aligned briefly, forming shapes that resembled patterns from human culture, spirals, circles, and interlocking lines. Leo realized these shapes were universal concepts, understood by many civilizations, yet interpreted differently. Humans saw them as symbols of life, growth, and exploration. "This is it," he whispered. "It's not just a puzzle, it's a reflection of thought, of approach, of understanding." The cube pulsed, reacting to his recognition of the patterns. Light flowed across its surface, connecting symbols in ways that seemed almost like a language. Leo realized the device was communicating, not just challenging him. Elara stepped closer. "You see it, Captain." Most fail because they try to dominate the puzzle instead of understanding it. Humans, you think differently. That is your advantage. Leo smiled faintly. Then maybe it's not about finishing the puzzle. Maybe it's about showing comprehension, showing insight. He experimented further, not by pushing the cube to a final state, but by moving with intention, curiosity, and patience. He thought about human experiences, how they explored the Earth, how they solved complex problems with teamwork and creativity, and how they sometimes succeeded by combining intuition with knowledge. The cube's lights shifted again, responding to his thoughts. It revealed shapes that resembled maps, constellations, and abstract designs. Leo felt a thrill of excitement. The device was testing more than intelligence. It was testing understanding, observation, and adaptability. Elara's voice was quiet but approving. "Yes, Captain. You are beginning to understand. Humans are unique because you adapt, improvise, and persist. That is why I chose you." Leo worked tirelessly, letting the puzzle guide him instead of forcing it. Slowly, patterns emerged more clearly. He recognized repetition in the symbols, subtle cues that indicated relationships between shapes and concepts. He began to draw connections, noting how one movement affected another, and how the cube seemed almost alive, responding to the human mind. Hours became a blur. Leo's concentration never wavered. His human traits, patience, curiosity, adaptability, and insight became the key to interacting with the alien device. For the first time, he felt that humans could compete with the greatest minds in the galaxy. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the cube reacted in a new way. Symbols glowed in harmony, forming patterns that Leo recognized as instructions rather than puzzles. It was as if the device had acknowledged his understanding. Elara's eyes shone with approval. "You are correct, Captain. You have grasped the essence of the task. Most humans would fail because they seek results immediately. You seek understanding." Leo breathed deeply, a mixture of relief and triumph. "So the puzzle, it's not meant to be solved like a machine problem. It's meant to be comprehended, understood." "Exactly," Elara said, stepping closer, And comprehension leads to insight. Insight leads to discovery. You, human, have demonstrated qualities that even many Zethurians do not possess. Leo smiled, feeling a surge of pride. He had relied not on raw intelligence, but on the human qualities that had allowed his species to survive, explore, and thrive in countless challenges. Creativity, intuition, curiosity, and perseverance. These were strengths Zethurians admired but often lacked. Suddenly, the cube projected a holographic map of the galaxy. Lines connected stars in intricate patterns, revealing a network of ancient civilizations and hidden knowledge. Leo's eyes widened. This is incredible, he said. The cube, it's showing connections, information. History, Elara nodded. Yes, Captain, the cube was not merely a puzzle. It is a repository of knowledge. Only one who understands the human approach can unlock its secrets. Leo realized that the task had already gone beyond testing him. It had opened a door to knowledge, exploration, and perhaps even humanity's future among the stars. He turned to Elara. So, my task was never just the puzzle. It was proving that humans think differently, that our perspective can uncover what others cannot. Elara smiled, a rare warmth in her expression. Exactly, and that is why you succeeded where others failed. You have shown that humanity is not only capable but necessary in the galaxy's unfolding story. Leo felt a surge of hope and determination. The puzzle had tested him, yes, but it had also affirmed humanity's potential. He realized that humans were not just observers of the galaxy. They were active participants, capable of discovery, understanding, and progress. Hours passed, and the stars outside the window began to shift with the passage of time. Leo continued studying the cube, now with guidance from Elara, learning how the device connected concepts, civilizations, and ideas across time and space. Through this interaction, he saw that humans had something Zethurians often lacked: the ability to combine logic with intuition, patience with curiosity, and action with empathy. These traits, subtle and often overlooked, were now proving crucial in navigating the galaxy's mysteries. Finally, as the twin suns rose over Zethuria's horizon, Leo leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. The first phase of the task was complete. He had shown not only understanding, but also the human capacity to adapt, innovate, and persevere. Elara placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. This is only the beginning, Captain Harris. There is more to discover, more to understand, and more challenges ahead. But tonight, you have proven that humanity is ready. Leo looked at the cube one last time before stepping back. He had faced a task unlike any other, one that tested not just skill but perspective, character, and humanity itself. And he had succeeded not through force, not through pure intelligence, but through the qualities that made humans truly remarkable. As he left the room, he knew that the journey had just begun. This puzzle, this device, and Princess Elara's challenge were only the first steps toward a greater adventure, one that would test humanity, reveal hidden knowledge, and perhaps even change the fate of civilizations across the stars. And for the first time, Leo felt a deep sense of pride, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. The galaxy had no idea what was coming, and soon, humans would show them. The room was quiet, but the hum of the alien device filled the space with a subtle rhythm. Captain Leo Harris had spent the night studying it, exploring patterns, and understanding its purpose. He now realized that the device was far more than a puzzle. It was a gateway to knowledge, a test designed to see how humans think, adapt, and innovate. Princess Elara stood nearby, her eyes observing every move Leo made. "You have done well so far, Captain," she said softly. "But the cube is only the first part of your task. The next stage will test more than understanding. It will test creativity and resourcefulness." Leo nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and anticipation. Humans had always thrived when facing challenges that required ingenuity, and he was determined to prove that again. "I'm ready," he said. Elara gestured toward a holographic projection that sprang to life above the cube. It showed a complex network of symbols, lights, and moving shapes, shifting constantly. "This is the next stage," she explained. "It requires you to interact with the cube, yes, but also to apply your own reasoning. You will need to see patterns where none seem to exist and to make connections that others cannot." Leo studied the projection. At first glance, it appeared chaotic. The symbols rotated, overlapped, and changed color unpredictably. Most of the humans who had encountered this device would have been overwhelmed. Yet Leo reminded himself of what had guided him before: patience, observation, and trust in his human intuition. He began experimenting. Instead of trying to control the cube, he observed its reactions carefully, noting how each movement altered the patterns. Slowly, he began to notice subtle relationships. A rotation here caused a color change there. A shift in shape influenced another pattern on the opposite side. "This is almost like a language," Leo murmured. "A system built to communicate rather than just challenge." Ilara's eyes gleamed. "Correct. The cube tests understanding, but the next layer tests insight. You must interpret, not just manipulate." Hours passed as Leo explored the complex interactions. He realized that the device was not purely mechanical. It responded to concepts and ideas, not just actions. A gesture that symbolized growth caused certain symbols to align. An action reflecting balance caused another set to illuminate. The cube was teaching him a new way of thinking, one that combined logic, pattern recognition, and abstract interpretation. Leo leaned back for a moment and recalled humanity's greatest achievements: space exploration, problem-solving under pressure, and the ability to adapt to unknown environments. He understood that humans thrived where rules were flexible, and creativity was key. Perhaps this was why Ilara had chosen him. Humans could succeed where other species might fail due to rigidity. He took a deep breath and approached the cube with renewed focus. This time he tried to think like the cube itself, imagining what it sought from him rather than forcing it into a specific outcome. Symbols shifted and aligned subtly, almost as if acknowledging his approach. Ilara stepped closer. "Humans often see solutions in unexpected ways," she said. "Your species excels because you combine intuition with reason. You observe, adapt, and persist." Leo smiled faintly. "Then persistence will be my guide." Hours blended into one another. He experimented with gestures, movements, and sequences, noting each reaction carefully. Slowly, he began to discern patterns that connected the symbols to concepts familiar to humans: cycles of growth, balance, and exploration. Each revelation brought a sense of triumph, but also deeper understanding. Finally, a series of symbols aligned perfectly, forming a complex map of interconnected systems. Lights pulsed across the cube, revealing star maps, ancient trade routes, and communication networks spanning Xethuria and beyond. Leo's eyes widened. The device was revealing knowledge that had been hidden for centuries, knowledge only a human perspective could uncover. This is incredible," Leo whispered. "It's not just a puzzle, it's a record of civilizations, connections, and ideas across the galaxy." Ilara nodded, clearly impressed. "Yes, you are beginning to see why humans are valued. Your species thinks differently. You combine logic with intuition and action with understanding. These qualities allow you to uncover what others cannot." Leo leaned forward, studying the newly revealed data. The pattern seemed chaotic at first, but as he traced connections, he saw hidden relationships between civilizations, technologies, and historical events. It was like piecing together a story written across time and space. He realized that the cube's design required more than intelligence. It required creativity, imagination, and insight, traits humans had in abundance. Most Xethurians approached problems linearly, relying on established rules. Humans, in contrast, could see multiple possibilities, improvise, and discover solutions others would miss. As the night deepened, Leo felt a sense of exhilaration. He was not just interacting with a device. He was decoding the galaxy's history, interpreting connections, and revealing information that could shape future exploration. His human perspective, combined with curiosity and adaptability, was the key to unlocking the cube's secrets. Suddenly, a new layer of the puzzle activated. A holographic projection of a strange machine appeared above the cube, glowing with a soft, pulsating light. It seemed to require not just thought, but action, a combination of understanding and manipulation. Leo studied it carefully. The machine's design was alien, yet he noticed familiar patterns, shapes that resembled Earth engineering principles, like levers, gears, and balance mechanisms. He realized that the puzzle now required him to apply human problem-solving to an alien construct. "This is it," he whispered. "This is where humans can really shine." He reached out, experimenting with the machine. Unlike previous steps, this one demanded physical interaction, careful adjustments, observation of reactions, and creative problem-solving. Leo approached it as he would any engineering challenge: analyze, hypothesize, test, and refine. The machine responded to his actions. A lever moved smoothly when adjusted with intuition, a gear aligned when manipulated with observation, lights pulsed in response to careful timing. Leo felt a thrill of excitement. The combination of human ingenuity and persistence was working. Elara observed silently. Yes, Captain, this is where your species proves its strength. Intelligence alone is not enough. Creativity, adaptability, and understanding are essential. Hours passed as Leo worked tirelessly. He discovered that the machine was not designed to be solved in the traditional sense. Instead, it was designed to teach, test, and reveal. His success depended on applying insight and patience rather than brute force or strict logic. Finally, after long hours of careful interaction, the machine activated fully. A holographic network of star systems, ancient civilizations, and communication pathways expanded above the cube. The information was staggering, revealing connections humans had never imagined. Leo stepped back, exhausted but triumphant. He had accomplished what few could, combining human creativity, intuition, and persistence to unlock secrets long hidden from Zethurians and humans alike. Elara's eyes shone with admiration. You have done more than I expected, Captain Harris. You have shown that humans are not only capable of solving problems, but of interpreting and understanding the galaxy in ways others cannot. Leo smiled, feeling a sense of pride and responsibility. The cube had tested him, yes, but it had also revealed humanity's potential, the unique qualities that made his species a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. This is just the beginning, Elara said, her voice gentle but firm. There is much more to discover, many more challenges to face. But tonight, you have proven something important, that humans are uniquely suited to confront the unknown, to adapt, and to thrive. Leo nodded, feeling a surge of determination. He had shown his ingenuity, creativity, and insight, but he also knew that the journey was far from over. The cube had revealed knowledge, but understanding it fully would require further exploration, collaboration, and courage. As he left the room, Leo looked back at the cube. Its glow pulsed softly, as if acknowledging his success, but also hinting at more challenges to come. He knew that the galaxy held many mysteries, and humanity was now part of that story. Walking down the corridor, Leo felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had faced a challenge unlike any other, relying on human qualities that were often underestimated by alien civilizations. Adaptability, creativity, intuition, and persistence had guided him, and he knew they would continue to do so in the adventures ahead. Princess Elara's words echoed in his mind. Humans often see solutions in unexpected ways. Your species excels because you combine intuition with reason. You observe, adapt, and persist. Leo smiled. She was right. Humanity had always survived and thrived because of these traits, and now, facing the galaxy, they would continue to do so. The task was far from over, but he felt confident that humans could rise to any challenge. The stars outside the window shimmered, reflecting possibilities beyond imagination. Leo Harris knew that humanity's journey in the galaxy had only begun, and that the lessons learned tonight would guide them through challenges, discoveries, and adventures that awaited in the vast expanse of space. And in that quiet, glowing room, with the cube's light fading into the distance, Leo felt a deep sense of pride, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. The holographic projections from the cube filled the room with soft, shifting lights, casting long, dancing patterns on the walls. Captain Leo Harris had already learned more than he had ever imagined possible in a single night. He had uncovered hidden relationships between civilizations, revealed maps of star systems, and begun to understand the alien device in a way no human had before. Yet Princess Elara's words echoed in his mind. The true test is yet to come. Leo studied the cube carefully. The symbols and lights seemed to shift faster now, almost as if the device sensed his understanding and was preparing for a final stage. The previous layers had tested observation, intuition, and creativity. Now it seemed the cube would test comprehension and insight. Elara observed silently. Her presence was calm but commanding, and Leo felt her quiet attention pushing him forward. Captain, she said softly, the cube will now test your ability to integrate knowledge, to connect what you have learned into a single understanding. This stage requires both thought and insight. Leo nodded. He had faced challenges before, but none like this. The device was not just a puzzle. It was a teacher, a guide, and a mirror reflecting human ingenuity. He took a deep breath, focusing on the task ahead. Slowly, he began interacting with the cube not as a puzzle to be solved, but as a system to be understood. Each symbol, light, and projection was a piece of a larger pattern. By analyzing the connections, he could see the cube was revealing relationships across time and space, networks of civilizations, hidden technologies, and ancient discoveries that had been lost for millennia. Leo realized that this stage required more than trial and error. He had to synthesize the information, recognize patterns, and see the underlying purpose. He recalled human history, explorers connecting continents, scientists discovering laws of nature, and inventors combining ideas to create new technologies. This was the human advantage, the ability to integrate knowledge into meaningful action. Hours passed as he worked, moving carefully and deliberately. He adjusted symbols, traced patterns with his fingers, and mentally mapped the relationships the cube revealed. Slowly, the system responded, aligning in ways that reflected his understanding. Ilara watched with quiet admiration. "Most who attempt this fail because they seek immediate results," she said. "You are patient, observant, and insightful. These are qualities humans excel in." Leo smiled faintly. "Then patience will guide me." The cube pulsed and shifted, revealing a final projection. It showed a massive network of interconnected star systems, ancient civilizations, and hidden technologies. Symbols and lights converged, forming a map that suggested a larger purpose, one that went beyond the cube itself. Leo studied it carefully. He realized that the device was not only a puzzle but also a key to discovery. It was a way to understand the galaxy's history, its hidden knowledge, and the potential for future exploration. And it was clear that humans, with their unique perspective, were capable of unlocking this potential. "This is incredible," Leo whispered. "It's not just a puzzle, it's a gateway," Ilara nodded. "Yes, Captain, and your species is the first to approach it with the understanding it requires. Your insight, creativity, and perseverance have allowed you to succeed where others could not." Leo's heart swelled with pride. He had relied on the human qualities that had allowed his species to survive and thrive: observation, intuition, creativity, and determination. These traits had guided him through the cube's challenges and now had unlocked a new layer of understanding. As he continued to interact with the device, the projections shifted again, revealing hidden star routes, ancient communication networks, and the locations of long-lost civilizations. Leo realized the importance of what he had discovered. This knowledge could reshape humanity's understanding of the galaxy and its place within it. He turned to Ilara. "So the cube, it was never just a test of skill. It was a way to see how humans think, how we understand, and how we integrate knowledge into action." "Exactly," she replied. "And you have demonstrated that your species is capable of remarkable insight. This is why humans are valued, Captain. You do not simply react. You observe, interpret, and create solutions that others cannot even imagine." Leo felt a surge of determination. The cube had revealed its secrets, but the work was far from complete. He now needed to understand how to apply this knowledge, not just observe it. The final stage of the challenge was not simply solving the puzzle. It was proving that humans could use insight to make meaningful decisions. He focused on the holographic network, tracing connections between civilizations and star systems. Patterns emerged, some obvious, others subtle. He noticed how trade routes connected distant worlds, how knowledge and technology spread, and how certain civilizations had influenced one another in ways long forgotten. This is a map of the galaxy's history," Leo murmured. "And also a guide to its future." Ilara stepped closer. "Yes, Captain, understanding is not enough. You must also show how this knowledge can be applied. Humans often excel because you combine understanding with action." Leo nodded. He realized that the cube's final test required creative application. It was one thing to observe patterns and connections. It was another to interpret them and see the opportunities they presented. He began to make decisions, experimenting with projections, aligning symbols to simulate trade routes, technological exchanges, and exploration missions. The cube responded, adjusting and revealing outcomes based on his choices. Leo felt a thrill of excitement. He was not just solving a puzzle, he was shaping possibilities. Hours passed in this delicate dance of thought and action. Leo applied his human creativity, connecting ideas, exploring possibilities, and testing outcomes. Slowly, the device responded fully, glowing with steady light as if acknowledging his success. Elara's expression softened. "You have done it, Captain Harris. You have demonstrated not only understanding but also the ability to apply insight creatively. You have shown that humans are capable of seeing beyond the immediate, connecting ideas and imagining possibilities." Leo leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. The cube's lights pulsed gently, filling the room with a sense of quiet triumph. He had succeeded where others had failed, not through force, not through sheer intelligence, but through the uniquely human combination of curiosity, creativity, and persistence. "This is incredible," he whispered. "The cube, it's more than a device. It's a record, a guide, and a test of understanding." Elara nodded. "And you, Captain, have proven that humanity is ready. You have shown that your species can think, adapt, and create in ways that are remarkable even among the most advanced civilizations." Leo felt a deep sense of pride. He had relied on the qualities that had allowed humans to survive and thrive for centuries: observation, intuition, creativity, and determination. These traits had guided him through the cube's challenges and now had unlocked a new layer of understanding. He realized that this knowledge, the network of civilizations, technologies, and historical connections, could be applied in many ways. Humanity could learn from it, explore new star systems, and collaborate with other species. The possibilities were endless. Elara's voice broke his thoughts. "You have succeeded, Captain Harris. The cube has acknowledged your understanding. You have proven that humans are not only capable but necessary in the galaxy's unfolding story." Leo smiled. "Then this is just the beginning, isn't it?" "Yes," she replied. "There is much more to discover. But tonight you have shown that humans can rise to the challenge, that your species has the creativity, insight, and perseverance to face the unknown." As he left the room, Leo looked back at the cube one last time. Its glow pulsed gently, as if recognizing his success, but also hinting at more mysteries to explore. He knew that this was only the beginning of humanity's journey in the galaxy. Walking down the quiet corridors of the Zethurian station, Leo felt a renewed sense of purpose. The cube had tested him, yes, but it had also revealed humanity's potential, the unique qualities that made his species a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. Adaptability, creativity, intuition, and persistence had guided him through the challenges, and he knew they would continue to do so in the adventures ahead. Princess Elara's words echoed in his mind. "Humans often see solutions in unexpected ways. Your species excels because you combine intuition with reason. You observe, adapt, and persist." Leo smiled. She was right. Humanity had always survived and thrived because of these traits. Now, facing the galaxy, they would continue to do so. The task was far from over, but he felt confident that humans could rise to any challenge. The stars outside the window shimmered, reflecting possibilities beyond imagination. Leo Harris knew that humanity's journey in the galaxy had only begun, and that the lessons learned tonight would guide them through challenges, discoveries, and adventures that awaited in the vast expanse of space. And in that quiet, glowing room, with the cube's light fading into the distance, Leo felt a deep sense of pride, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. The galaxy had no idea what was coming, and soon humans would show them. The glow of the cube had faded, leaving a calm silence in the room. Captain Leo Harris stepped back, exhausted but exhilarated. For hours, he had interacted with the alien device, unlocking secrets, discovering hidden patterns, and demonstrating the unique human ability to combine creativity, intuition, and determination. Princess Elara stood beside him, her expression serene but filled with admiration. "You have done what few could, Captain," she said. "You have shown that humanity is capable of understanding, insight, and adaptation beyond expectation. Tonight, you have proven that humans are not merely visitors in the galaxy, you are participants." Leo allowed himself a small smile. It was one thing to succeed at a task, another to feel the weight of what his success meant. This cube, this device, was not just a test. It was a gateway, a symbol of trust and recognition from one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now that the cube has revealed its secrets?" Elara's eyes glimmered with anticipation. "Now humanity has a choice. The knowledge you have unlocked can guide your species, strengthen alliances, and open opportunities for exploration. But more importantly, you have shown that humans have qualities that no algorithm or technology can replicate: intuition, creativity, and adaptability. These are the strengths that will allow you to thrive in the universe. Leo felt a surge of pride. Humans had always relied on ingenuity to overcome impossible challenges, from surviving harsh environments on Earth to reaching for the stars. And now, facing the galaxy, their greatest strengths had been recognized and validated. Ilara gestured to the holographic map that had been projected by the cube. Constellations, ancient star systems, and networks of civilizations filled the space. This map reveals much, she explained. It shows the history of civilizations, the spread of knowledge, and the connections that bind worlds together. You, Captain, have seen it with human eyes and understood its significance. You have proven that your species is capable of shaping the future of the galaxy. Leo studied the map carefully. He noticed the lines connecting distant star systems, the paths of trade and knowledge exchange, and the subtle indicators of civilizations that had long vanished. "This is incredible," he whispered. "It's like a guide showing not only where civilizations have been, but where they could go." "Exactly," Ilara said, "and humans have now become part of that story. Your insight, your approach, and your understanding will influence how your species interacts with the galaxy. You have proven that humans are not only capable of surviving in space, but of leading, innovating, and collaborating in ways others may not imagine." Leo felt the weight of her words. For centuries, humans had looked at the stars and wondered what lay beyond. They had explored their planet, their solar system, and now they were beginning to participate in the larger galactic story. And this moment marked a turning point, a recognition that humanity's strengths were not just unique but essential. Ilara smiled. "Captain Harris, I have a proposal. Humanity has earned a new role. You will not only serve as ambassador, but as a guide for your species, helping to navigate the complexities of interstellar alliances, exploration, and discovery. The galaxy is vast, and humans have shown that they can rise to any challenge." Leo felt a mixture of honor and responsibility. It was a moment he had never imagined, to not only represent Earth but to shape its place among the stars. "I accept," he said firmly. "Humanity will rise to the challenge, and we will learn from our allies, adapt, and contribute to the galaxy's knowledge." Ilara nodded. "Good. This is only the beginning. The knowledge you have unlocked through the cube is vast, but it is only a foundation. There are other civilizations, other mysteries, and other challenges waiting. Humanity's journey has only begun." Leah felt a surge of excitement. The cube had been a test, yes, but it had also been an invitation, a call to adventure. Humans had always thrived on challenges, on discovery, and on exploration. Now the galaxy itself awaited their ingenuity. He thought back to the cube, the device that had tested him through patience, observation, creativity, and intuition. It had revealed that success was not about force, speed, or intelligence alone, but about understanding, perspective, and adaptability. Humanity had passed this test not by being the strongest or the fastest, but by being human. The news of Leo's success spread quickly across Cytheria. Ambassadors, scholars, and leaders marveled at the human approach to the cube. Where other species had tried to dominate, humans had observed. Where others had relied on rigid logic, humans had combined knowledge with intuition. The result was admiration and a recognition that humanity's unique qualities made them essential participants in galactic affairs. Back aboard the Aurora One, Leo addressed his team. "We've learned something important," he said. "Humans are capable of more than we imagined. Creativity, intuition, patience, and adaptability, these are our strengths. And now we have a chance to use them not just for survival, but to explore, discover, and lead." His team nodded, inspired. They had always known humanity's potential, but seeing it recognized by one of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations reinforced their confidence. They were no longer outsiders. They were partners, collaborators, and pioneers. Over the following days, Leo and Ilara worked together to analyze the knowledge revealed by the cube. They mapped star systems, identified civilizations, and explored possibilities for collaboration. Each discovery brought new opportunities: trade, exploration, scientific advancement, and diplomacy. Humanity was no longer limited to Earth. They were becoming active participants in the galaxy's unfolding story. One evening, as Leo gazed out at the stars from the observation deck, Elara joined him. "Captain Harris," she said softly, "you have shown the galaxy that humans are not just survivors. You are innovators, thinkers, and creators. Your species has a role to play in shaping the future of the cosmos." Leo smiled. "It's humbling to hear, Your Highness, but it's also inspiring. Humans have always looked to the stars, wondering what lies beyond. Now we have a chance to be part of it, to contribute, to learn, and to thrive." Elara's eyes reflected the light of distant suns. "Yes, and I believe that your species will rise to the occasion. You have proven yourselves in ways others could not even imagine. The galaxy is full of challenges, but it is also full of opportunity. Humanity's journey is just beginning." Leo nodded, feeling a sense of determination and hope. The cube had been a challenge, yes, but it had also been a revelation. Humanity's potential was vast, and now they had the recognition, the guidance, and the opportunity to explore it fully. As the observation deck shimmered with starlight, Leo realized that this was more than a personal achievement. It was a triumph for all of humanity. Their ingenuity, adaptability, and creativity had been recognized by one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. They had passed a test not of strength, but of character, perspective, and insight, and with that recognition came responsibility. Humanity would have to navigate the complexities of interstellar relations, explore new worlds, and face challenges unlike any they had known before. But Leo was confident. Humans had always risen to challenges, and now they would rise to the stars. In the days that followed, humans and Zethurians collaborated closely, sharing knowledge, technology, and insights. Humanity's approach, combining creativity, intuition, and persistence, proved invaluable. The galaxy began to see humans not as outsiders, but as partners, innovators, and explorers. Leo Harris, once a simple captain and observer, had become a symbol of humanity's potential. His success with the cube demonstrated that humans could think differently, adapt, and thrive in ways other civilizations had underestimated. And as humanity took its place among the stars, one thing was clear: the galaxy had never seen a species quite like them before. The cube had been a challenge, a test, and a gateway, but it had also been a mirror reflecting the qualities that made humans exceptional. Curiosity, creativity, patience, intuition, and adaptability. These were the traits that would guide them through the vast, uncharted expanse of space. And as Captain Leo Harris looked out at the endless stars, he felt a deep sense of pride. Humanity's journey had only begun, but the future was bright. The galaxy awaited, full of mysteries to explore, civilizations to meet, and discoveries to make. And humanity, for the first time, was ready.